Hello, I'm Andrea Saffert, and this is my presentation on classroom management. Okay, so my own personal philosophy to start with is to have fun and have a safe classroom environment. So having a space where everyone feels safe and can have fun. So I think that this can be, your brain breaks. This is your morning meeting stuff. This is right away to make sure that everyone has a good environment where they have good relationships with everybody, and that way they can focus on the material. So if you're having fun with your students, that means you're captivating them and you can have more of their attention. And and when this happens, you can be your most effective teacher. And I think just having fun is so important in your classroom. Developing classroom rules. So throughout the year, you can model behavior and act out good behavior versus bad behavior. So this is something you need to be constantly doing to make sure that you're reminding your students of what exactly you want to be seeing. And don't make assumptions as a teacher. So you want to make sure that you're not just assuming that everyone knows the rules. You need to make sure that you're establishing those yourself in your own classroom. Come up with your rules as a class, since each group is different. So each class might have different rules that they need to be having. So what rules does your class need to have, and what do your students hope to get out of the class? And what do your students need you to do as your teacher? Reward systems and initiatives. So in a classroom, I've seen money be used, fake money. So what they were doing is, this was in a second grade classroom, I believe, and they were giving out coins for good behavior. So they'd be giving out pennies, and then if they got like 5 pennies, they could turn it in for a nickel. So this was teaching them how to use money and how to be able to count and add. And then also they were collecting it, and they could get prizes based off of how much money they had if they would go buy it. And that was really cool to watch. And then I've also seen table group tally system. So that is where peers are kind of involved in it also. So you have the table group gets to their desk quickly and quietly. They would get a tally, and then at the end of the week they could get a prize. And so that one was good too. And then I've also seen Red Robin reading coupons. So I went to Cedar Park Elementary School, and they have Red Robin right across the street. And so they were giving out free coupons for a free meal. And they'd get those out when they read a certain amount of books. And so I guess you can look to see what kind of companies are around you and figure out, if there's willing to give out those types of things, because there's a lot of companies that are willing to do stuff like that, and that's always cool. And that's a good incentive or reward system. Handling misbehavior. So this, I'm going to talk about it again, but it's being direct and using direct language. That was in one of our readings, talking about using direct speech, saying exactly what you want from your student and not using sarcasm, and saying, I would like this behavior from you this time. Timeouts also are an effective punishment. Communicating with parents, establish as much communication as possible. When we had the teacher panel come in, one of the teachers there was talking about having at least 3 conversations before or after the first day of school. And I thought that was a really great idea, making sure that you're having that open communication line for the rest, and that just sets up for the rest of the school year, because you're going to have a good relationship if you just keep doing that. And just making sure that you're communicating over email or phone. So allow for any and all parent involvement. That's always good for the student. The student is going to get a lot more out of that if their parents are involved with what they're doing. And teachers should always work for the best interest of their students, and that is in the best interest of your students. And then remember at the end of the day that every single parent only wants the best for their students. Social skills and routines in the classroom for the first days. So right away you want to be establishing your rules. So on the first day you can create a board for the classroom rules, where you sit down and literally just make it out with everyone what they want to have on the board. And then throughout the school year you can continue to act out what good behaviors you want to be seeing. So role modeling and then playing it out. And then you want to be building a sense of group. So this is right on the first day. You can start with a game, or you can start off, this is what we're going to be doing, this is our schedule, and this is what we're going to be doing every day. And so they have that routine. And they also can build the sense of group with your morning meetings. You're going to keep doing that throughout the year as well. And then throughout the year, you're going to continue doing guided discovery, which means that you're going to slowly introduce material. So in the text, it talked about starting with a small classroom library. So you just have enough books for each student to have a book. And then as the year goes on, you keep adding books to the library, so it'll keep it growing. And you do that with everything around the classroom, with classroom materials. It starts off with maybe you can only use markers, and then you add colored pencils, and you add crayons, and so on. And then this also is providing posted visual material in the classroom. So as they learn their sight words, you're going to have those posted in the classroom as well. So that keeps adding and adding and adding on. And then routines in the classroom. Brain breaks are a good routine to have in your classroom and something that you need to be doing. They provide a good break when you want everyone to get back on focus. If you're noticing that you're losing students and they just aren't there, that's when you want to pull out your brain breaks, and those are just so much fun for what we're doing in class. And then establishing a signal to get your class attention. Again, you can't just start talking over your students when you want their attention. You can't just start into your lesson. It's good to have like a bell to signal to your class that you're ready to move on to something else and you need to get their attention right now. Or flickering the lights, or doing a clap, or if you can hear me, put your hand on your head, or do a peace sign. That is all the different things you can do as a signal. The power of words, how we use our language in our classroom can shape our students. So this goes back to don't use indirect language. Be direct with what you want from your student. So if you notice someone isn't sitting down, don't say, oh, I like how so-and-so is sitting down, when you really, just say, I want you to be sitting down right now. I want everyone to be sitting down. So it's being direct with your language. And so this means no sarcasm, because sarcasm is included in the category of indirect language. And when you use this direct language, you'll gain your students' trust. They'll trust you as a person and as their teacher. And so making the classroom inclusive. So get to know each student individually. This also goes back to why establishing good communication with parents is so important, because then you'll get to know your students more individually, and you'll get that background knowledge on your students. And then ask your students how they're doing. Do a survey to get a feel on how comfortable they are in the classroom in order to figure out what you need to be changing. And then incorporate diversity into curriculum. And so obviously there's a lot of great literature out there, that has a lot of diversity in it. And so make sure you're using that or doing a unit on that. And then also sometimes, you might need to change the layout of your classroom. If someone has a mobility issue, or you can do lots of different things for different, to make your classroom more inclusive. So maybe you may need to be enlarging the text so that everyone can see it, or you need to be speaking louder with a microphone, or whatever needs to be happening. You can make those adjustments and change it to make sure your classroom is more inclusive. All right, and so that was my presentation. Thank you.